record on this computer. Okay, so good afternoon once again. So the first part of our session, we will be talking about the research design and methodology. So, uh, Ken, can you confirm if the slides, if you can see the slides? Kenneth, makita Ken? Russell, makita ni Russ akong presentation? Share screen. Dili?
Kita, kita na
Makita?
kita.
Okay, makita. Kung saan i-admit ang uban? Okay. So, let's start our discussion. So, the first one, we will be focusing on the research design and methodology. So, there are a lot of factors that we need to consider upon designing our research, including the methods. No, so in the previous discussions, in the previous meetings, we already differentiate method from methodology. So, the methodology. Uy, nag-bounce. The methodology are those processes, no, nga murag unsa to siya ang content sa imong methods, no. Ang methods is just for example in the data analysis, as I have mentioned, mao ni nga data analysis akong gamiton, mao ni nga method, mao ni nga design, mao ni magamit ba ka og randomized, so magamit ba ka og Latin square, magamit ba kag ani nga method. So that's the method. Ang methodology kadtong mga factors pa nga i-consider nimo sa imong methods. So it's just a recap. Okay. Naghang man ni akong cellphone. What is a research design? Okay, a research design is a plan, structure, and strategy of investigation, so conceived as to obtain answers to research questions or problems. Okay, uh, there is a called traditional research design, which is a blueprint or a guide. It's also a guide, a detailed plan for how a research study is to be completed. The operations involved, the variables, no, the measurement methods. So we can measure, we can attain, and we will achieve the desired values or specific or corresponding values for the particular parameters or variables that we set sa atong research. Okay. Therefore, a research design, accordingly, is a procedural plan that is adapted by the researcher to answer questions validly, objectively, accurately, and economically. Okay. Why the terms validly, objectively, accurately, and economically are being emphasized? No, because when we conduct research, it must be valid. No, kanang valid pa kaysa sa imong ID. No, dapat dili na siya balik-balik. Kung balik man siya, similar siya, unsa tong gap or unsa to ang wala na attain sa previous related nga research, ang imong buhaton sa imong current nga study. So not necessarily gyud nga kung unsa tong iyang objectives, kung unsa to ang iyang methods, mao pud imong i-follow, no. Natay gitawag nga adapted methods, no. Kanang same og method pero lahi mo og gipang set nga criteria or mga parameters, no. Objectively, no, that's why when we are asked for a proposal, dapat na objectives. Kaya the objectives, as previously mentioned in our previous sessions, mao ni atong guide ang objectives, no? It is being stated, no? The statements will give us a specific kanang plan or kanang particular nimo nga mga activities based sa imong objectives. Accurate, no? Accurate doesn't mean only for the measurement or your data gathering. Accurate means accurate pud ang imong process. Kung unsa tong imong giset nga mga activities, mao pud imong i-follow to meet the desired objectives, no? And economically, what is economically? For example, na kay budget nga 10,000 sa imong study. So para dili ka mo exceed more than the set amount, so dapat imo to siyang magtinipid baka ka, mangita baka kag mga alternatives, no, nga alternatives nga mga ways nga para ma-meet to nimo ang kadtong imong budget nga gi-allocate nga mao ra to ang ma-follow, mao ra to ang imong ma-utilize. Dili kay 20% pa ka sa imong pag-conduct sa study, nahurot na dayon ang imong gi-budget, gi-allocate nga amount para sa imong study. So, your design must be valid, objective, accurate, and economical. Okay, so you remember these four terms in designing your research or your thesis sooner. Okay, uwahi lagi ang akong kuan, uwahi ang akong slides. Okay, with the proper research design, a researcher can logically decide and select on the methods, build his or her own plan and work, no? That is why as a student, as a researcher, imo na siyang end kung unsa gyud ang imong gusto nga mahitabo sa imong study. Dili lang kay okay, establish naman ako sir ang akong title, establish naman ako sir ang akong objectives, kabalo na ko sir sa akong limitation sa study, unya kabalo na ko sir sa akong review, na ko inang gather nga related studies nga mo suffice na siya sir sa akong interpretation. So dili mag-end diha ang imong ideation sa imong study. So sa giingon, it must be logical, no? But it will meet all the set criteria nga imong gi set para sa imong kaugalingong study. Imo man na mao nang naigitawag nga work and financial plan, no? Unsa na poy kalahian sir sa work and financial plan ug sa akong objectives and budgetary requirements, no? So again, ang objectives mao to siya ang kadtong statement, no? General statement kung unsay gusto nimo ma-meet sa imong study. But the work and financial plan will state all the activities versus the budget on the time frame, no? So first activity, mag inception baka ka sa imong research, mag-conceptualize ka, mag basa baka kag mga related studies, the first step versus the what specific month nga imo siyang i-achieve, imo siyang buhaton, and then pila ka usually imong ma-budget ana, pila ka imong magasto. So mao nang gitawag nga work and financial plan. And then
do we understand? Do we?
it guides us, unsa man to Lord boy? It guides us to overcome the difficulties that one is likely to face during the research to get outcomes. It will also help us to understand the dependencies, consider the overall roadmap for carrying out the research along with identifying minute details, no? Kanang time frame, no? Kanang nagiingon nga time frame nga. Kano sa man din nimo buhaton ang first activity, no? Ang next nimo nga activity, unsa nga bulan, unsa nga semana, no? Usually kung thesis, di ba nalang ta isa ka sem, no? Kung di ka mahuman, mag-extend ka, mag-extend and extend, no? That's why you need to have a uh, kanang roadmap or overall nimo nga uh, or detalyado nimo nga activities, or shall we say work and financial plan, or work plan, no, to achieve all your activities related sa imong study. Dili kay sige lang mag-procrastinate ka, sige lang next week pwede pa, next month pwede pa siguro kay wala pa man nag-follow up ang akong advisor or ang chairperson nga mag-defend na. Sige lang next month na lang, hangtod maabtan sige lang next sem na lang, until such time nga nahuman na ang sem, sige lang next school year na lang pod. So dili siya maayo, no? Dili nimo ma-meet tong atong gi-mention ganina nga four criterias which are objective, so pato, economical, no? And etc. Okay? From the preceding points, atong na-mention from the previous slides, defining precise up to the point problem statement are very important. Approaches and techniques, no? And then data gathering techniques, mao na nga atong usual gid nga gina-consider. Kanang details about the data that need to be analyzed and further research upon. Kanang mga recommendations. And approaches, experimental setups to be executed for the data processing and analysis. Kanang later sa atong next nga presentation, next nga topic, ako ni siyang i-emphasize ang mga ang mga data processing and analysis or data analysis, processing and interpretation ng mga techniques kung sa inyong pamaagi. And then we will have a short session break, grouping, and then we will have a sort of activity, group activity. When we define our research objectives, I hope that everyone is listening. Bahalag dili mo interested sa akong topic kay boring, more on text, more on terms. But later on, particularly when you really start officially and uh, officially start your thesis, and even when you graduate and you are assigned in a research institution, you will then realize how important the research methodology topic will be, or how the research methods course uh, uh, like how will you address all your research endeavors if you have no idea on the research methods, particularly on defining your uh, data analysis and research design. No, ma-realize ninyo, if you have no sufficient background, no, you have no concrete background with the research methods, you will really have a hard time in conducting your research. So, please bear with me kay bisan po more on terminologies ni. These are very important, particularly when you conduct your when you have an actual conduct of your research, no. So define na nimo tanan na kay objectives, methods, I mean review related studies. Okay, concrete na ni sir, na ano ni sir, pangbala na ko sa akong analysis. Data collection techniques diri na dayon, no. Usually most of my advices akong mga students moingon dayon nga sir wa mi kabalo sir unsa nga analysis among gamiton, no. Unsa sir nga analysis of variance among i-apply kadto bang complex, kadto bang multiple, kadto bang basic, kadto bang 2 by 2, 3 by 3, no 4 by 4, 5 by 5. Unsa ka among gamiton sir, kay ikaw mismo as a student, as a researcher, you did not know what are the bounds of your study. Asa ra kataman, no. You have to identify, you have to study, and you have to read related studies similar sa imo para maka-come up ka og data collection nga mga techniques, no. For example, your study is more on the survey, no. Your study is more on the prediction modeling, no. Ayo paggamit og analysis of variance per me. Ayo paggamit og chi-square test or kanang gitawag nila nga two variable test, no. So it's not applicable. Okay? And selection of key components of data. Kung mayingon gani kag key components of data, assuming nga gi-declare na nimo ang imong mga variables. For example, kung ang imong study is more on the quality values of the product, moisture content, soluble solids, pH, no. Tan-awon din nimo ang key components of the data. Kung mayroon gani kag key components, those components or factors nga pwede nimo ipares, pwede nimo i-interrelate, pwede nimo bulagon, no. Dili nimo i-correlate si moisture, si pH og si color kay feeling nimo dili sila related. Wala gid sila kanang ang effect ni drying dili gid siya makahatag sa changes aning tulo ka parameters, no. For example, weight sa material. Ang imo is nagkuha lang kag color values, imo lang gi-assess nganong kuhaon pa man nimo si weight. So walay relationship ni weight sa food material versus sa color. Unless if imo siya gihatagag treatment like imong gi-dry, gi-store, imong gi-cure, imong gi-freeze, or imo siyang gi-subject to cold storage. So ingana ka importante ang pag-implement sa imong data kung saan nimo paghanay, no. Dili kay okay sir, naa na ko yung moisture content, naa na tanan sir. Ako ning i-analyzer, ako ni siyang hatagag kuha ag average, mean, and then discuss. No, you have to identify the key components, unsay function, unsay role ana nga data, no, unsay emphasis ana nga data nga imo lang gihatag ag average, imo lang dayon gi kuhaan og ANOVA, unya unsa kay dayon, no? So wala nimo na identify mismo ang iyang ka-importansya. Okay? And then reporting, no? I-report nimo during report findings or during discussion of your results. This must be discussed what happened to your data after the analysis and how it differs, how it relates, and how it oppose with the available or related study nga imong na retrieve. So ingana ang mag-report og data di kay the average value is like this, the value is only like this. Wala lang nimo gi-relate sa mga previous study nga nag-conduct pod similar sa imuha. So it's not results and discussion. You are only uh, showing your data, no? So ingana siya ka critical. Okay. So, parameters, murag nagbalik-balik na ni, nanatay title, unsay importansya sa imong research or significance, di ba? Part na sa imong paper, no? So, I suppose that when you reach the proposal stage, dili na mo magsigig pangutana unsay sunod sa title, sir. So, significance, ano nakaka-come up ka na or background, di ba? Some papers would say background and importance of the study or background and significance of the study. So, it's still the same. Literature survey or review of related studies, the same. And then the scope, limitation, objectives, imong state, concepts of the terminology used, no? Or defining the terminologies, declaring or writing all the terminologies. Ibong ibutang kay magbutang ka dito og ABE sa imong text nga sa imong research is all ABE graduates are kuan. So if the reader is not into engineering or did not know what ABE is, dili siya kasabot unsay ABE. So you have to define all the terminologies. Pag ma-declare na nimo sa first part sa imong paper or naa kay list of terminologies or mga acronyms, pwede na nimo na siya gamiton dito sa paper nga naka-acronyms naka. If wala, you have to spell out, you have to define first before nimo siya gamiton as naka-acronym. Data, no? Sa data later on the next presentation, how we can arrange the data according to the table, the figures, the graphs. So ato na siyang i-discuss later. And then results, no? Sa results, dili lang ingon nga gihatagan na nimo average, gihatagan lang nimo siya ANOVA, gihatagan nimo siya t-test. So dili na siya ingana rataman. Interpretation and conclusion and further research. Kanang further research, mo na siya ang mga recommendation. Dili kay wala man nimo na-meet ang imong objective, imo na lang po dayon i-recommend. So dili pwede. Unless if naay mga valid reasons or mga restrictions like nahutdan na gid kag budget, wala na kay time, unya ni sugot na lang ang imong panel, ang imong advisor. So you just have to declare further undertakings na for future undertakings it is being suggested that the blah 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 will be conducted, this one will be conducted. So it's actually most researchers would say that the further undertakings in the part of the research is like a safe ground, no, kanang murag pag di na gani ma-achieve dito na lang dahil sa further undertakings or future work. Okay? Please mute your microphone kanang naka-on kay para di ta makadungog og mga external nga mga kuan. Okay. Qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative means quality, defining small, medium, large, no? Beautiful, handsome, dirty, clean, ngay nga na quality, more on the quality. Mostly these researches are done in the sociological mga environmental nga mga ingana nga mga aspects, but we are into quantity, no, kay we are engineering research man, count, measure, no, must have values, percent, units. So mao na ang ato sa quantitative nga mga researches, always remember that. Okay. The types of research, explanatory, na-discuss na nato ni, but last time it was a types of research. This time, types of research design. So same ra na sila. Kung mingon kag explanatory research, ang design po sa explanatory research is particularly or specific to answering why questions, why it happened. So you have to have a survey questionnaire that will answer all your why questions. Okay? Descriptive, when you say descriptives, it must have findings, characteristics, it also have numerical, no? Mag-involve pud ang descriptive research design or research descriptive research og mga numerical nga mga uh, values. Diagnostic research design, okay? Diagnostic more on the medical, no? Deals with finding out associations and solutions. Anang mga unsay relationship ni weight sa body og sa iyang blood pressure og sa iyang kanang stool nga mga analysis. So it's diagnostic. Experimental, we can also have a problem formulation, no? Kanang atong ginagamit sa atong research mao ni mga experimental. Exploratory, more on defining the or discovering new things, no? Kanang mga pang scientist nga mga kanang mga invention, no? Much explanatory. Hypothesis testing kadtong naay causal relationship sa duha. Gusto ka ma-solve nga problem nga pero nagthink ka unsay mas possible nga solution, na kay mga feasible nga mga ideas. So that's hypothesis testing. And in the principles of experimental design, guys, we have two types. We have replication and the other one is randomization. Okay, let's focus first on the replication. To put forth results on any experimentation, performing the experiment just once is not sufficient. No, dili ra na ingon nga nanakoy data sir, human na ni sir. Igi-explain na nako sir unsa nahitabo sa data, nag-increase diri, nag-increase diha, nag-decrease diri. Tungod kay ang iyang kuan sir ing ani, kay mao man iyang value sir, mao ni ang average. No, mao ni ang iyang percent sir nga akong nakita. So dili. We want to test the impact of example, we want to test the impact of eating two types of fruits, apples and bananas on kindergarten school children. This is the basic example, okay, on a replication. One can think of different ways to carry out this experiment. Assume that we split the kids and form two groups and test them by giving one group bananas and the other groups of apples, no? So unsa man ni siya experimental, no, nga type sa research design. This is just one experiment that we perform. But instead, if we split them into multiple subgroups, no, and compare the results, we are trying to replicate it, no? Example, grupo na nimo siya bananas and apples nga group sa mga kindergarten students, no? Instead nga imo pa silang buwagon na duha na imo pa silang iupat, imo na lang silang ang duha ka groups, imo na lang dayon ang first group imo na pong pikason, ang second group pikason para ma-replicate nimo sila. So that's the basic concept of replication, no? I know you are done with the data analysis or engineering data analysis. I hope that your instructor taught you about replication and randomization and even the analysis of variance. I assume kay it's part of the course, no? The RIA is it's kind as a recap and then how applicable it is to your particular research. Dili na ko mag-discuss diri nga okay kani nga method atong gamiton nga kanang data analysis nga replication, no? Pila ka replication ang possible and randomization. So dili na siya pwede. Ang replication basically imong gi-divide, gi-replicate nimo tong imong mga na-divide para dili na ka magdaghan nga ang group of kindergarten imo nang himuong napulo ka grupo. It's not replication, it's grouping, no? Lahi ang grouping sa replication, guys. Always remember that. If you divide the two, one room of kindergarten students divide into two, and then each division, imo na dahil siyang ipang replicate, no? Para ang banana na ay representative nga upat, ang apples na ay representative nga upat, it's replication. Pero kung imo sila tanang himong representative, the overall population, it's not uh, replication, it's a population or sampling or random sampling. So lahi na siya nga story. Okay. The principles of randomization, in the replication principle, we discussed about repeating the same experiment. Ang group of bananas and the group of apples, imo na din silang gibahin na pod ang group of bananas, gibahin nimo ang apples, that's replication, no? Ang mahitabo nimo sa randomization, tanan possible equal ang ilang chance of being a sample. Like imo silang i-rumble, imo silang i-randomize, mag-pick dahin ka sa ila og first 10 mao to imong sample. So that's randomization, no? So lahi ang story ni randomization, I mean concept og lahi kang replication. I hope it's clear ha sa inyong mind. Okay. The replication, na po tayo principles of local control. Kana bang when you conduct a study, nag-replicate ka, nag-randomize ka, nag-control pod ka. Unsa man ang control? Kanang wala kay treatment nga gi-apply. For example, nag-study ka og effect ni ni oven drying, unsa kaha ang resulta sa moisture content, soluble solids, sugar content ug acidity sa saging kung imo siyang i-oven drying, no? Ang imong control wala nimo siya gi-apply sa oven drying, no? Nag-apply lang ka sa solar drying. So that's the control. Wala kay treatment, wala nimo siya gi-treat. Or pwede pod nga ang upat ka sample nimo imong gi-oven dry pero gibutang nimo siya og kanang special nga material like plastic, gibutang po nimo siya og metal, gibutang nimo siya sa wood. Ang isa wala nimo gibutang. So that's control, no? Wala kay treatment nga gibutang. Okay? I hope it's clear nga ang control, no treatment, wala kay special treatment, wala kay anything, normal ra nga usually nga mahitabo sa iya. And then everything katong remaining nga imong mga design or imong method na kay gitreat sa iya. Murag special treatment para makuha nimo ang data dayon niya. So that's treatment. Mo nang moingon tag unsay treatment sa imong study. Treatment means unsay imong gi-apply, unsay imong concept, method nga gigamit sa iya ha. Okay? Control wala lang. Kuha lang kag data para sa iya as your reference. So that's the control. Then natin gitawag nga post-test only design, pre-test, post-test only design. So when you say post-test, the treatment group is introduced to the experimentation, no? Katong mga treated ni mga samples, imo siyang gi-introduce sa experimentation. And then one major consideration under this design is it is assumed that the group's performance towards the treatment is similar. Okay? Assuming ana kay group sa imong samples, treated ni siya, katong ingon ako nga imong i-dry si banana nga gibutang nimo siya sa sampler nga naay wood ang iyang base. Ang isa pod ang butanganan is metal, ang isa is kahoy, no? Ang isa kay control raman, gi-assume nimo nga whatever the effects, no? Ang imong hypothesis, whatever the temperature nga imong i-apply, same ang ilang madawat sa katong imong mga treatments or sa imong mga samples. So that's post-test only design, assuming nag-assume na kadaan. Pre-test, post-test only design, magbahin ka naa kadtong naka-control ug naa kadtong walay control group, no? Mas nindot ang study nga naagi control because control will give us the basic or the reference value nga normal or usual niya nga ihatag, no? Treated katong mga nanay control, walay control, so mao na to siya ang imong mga experimental nga aspect. So ingana siya. Typically in experimentation designs, the samples are split into the experimentation or test group and control groups. Bahinon ginani mo. These are treated, so these are experimental groups. These control groups mao lang ni sila ang mga normal pero kuhaan gyapon na mog data. Even if you do simulation image processing, bisan pag magamit kag mga high-end nga mga technology, magkuha gyapon kag data sa kadtong traditional. Mao nang gingon nila nga i-compare nimo si mechanical o si traditional because traditional is as considered as a control sample, no? The normal, the usual nga baseline sa atong mga data. Okay? So that's how it differs. Okay. Am I still with you? Masig nawala na ko ha? Sheila,
Sir.
Pulonggasa, nara ko. Are
Napaka,
you
sir.
okay? Are you still with me? Okay, okay. Thank you, Sai. Okay. That's how they differ ha. For example, accordingly, okay, natay experimentation group and control group, no? Take note gyud ani kay during sa inyong study, I will always ask what are the treatments nga inyong gigamit, no? Mas okay ra siguro dili ko ninyo ma-panel or di ko ninyo ma-advisor kay dili ko mangutana. Pero ako gyud always gina sa inyong data analysis which is the experimentation group and which is the control group. When you say control group, for example, sir, i-mechanize na ako ni sir kay ang kamunggay wala pa gyud sir nag-study sa maghagpat sa kamunggay. Okay, kuha atong imong mga control units, no? Control nga mga group nga katong mga manual. Unsa po dayon to, sir? Magkuha lang ko some data, sir, nga akong birahon ang kanang kuan, sir, niya time man ako. No. Control group doesn't end with one sampling also. Manguha ka grade sa edad sa tao. Pila ka ang iyang average dahon nga makuha sa kamunggay, ang edad sa tao nga tigtanggal is 15 to 20 years old, 20 to 25 years old, 25 to 30, 30 and so on. That's the control group, is the normal thing. Experimentation group sa imong treated or sa imong mechanized nga study. Kung sa imong buhaton, okay, ang ako pong mga treatment ani sir, kay mechanized man siya sir, posible nga ang power. Kung ma-change ang power rating sa electric motor, posible siguro po sir no, nga hinay. Okay, that's the treatment. Or the variety of the crop. pwede siya mahimong treatment. But you are mechanizing, you are addressing the problem. No, that's how the two groups vary. No, take note of that. Kay mag-study ra ba, usually gid magkuan na nga kung buot anang mga estudyante nga dili dayon maka-identify which the experimentation on the control group. Okay? For example, to study the impact of introduction of a soft skills workshop for second year students. Okay? Unsay buhaton? Okay? So ang treated, okay? Control group, regular lectures, unya unsay outcome? Regular lang nga lecture, no? Nag-lecture lang ko, wala. Experimentation group na anay treatment nga gibuhat. Unsa man? Nag-introduce na daw og soft skills workshop, no? Aside sa regular lectures, meaning na anay mas advanced nga pamaagi sa pagtudlo nga gi-apply. So, na-treatment nga gibuhat unya unsa po yang outcome. So, the outcome X versus the outcome Y, mao na siya ang imong goal. However, ang impact ma-change maimong makuan kung ang unsay outcome ni X minusan nimo sa outcome ni Y, mao na siya ang imong impact. Lahi ang imong goal sa research and lahi ang impact. Ang impact is impact sa imong research, no? Unsa iyang outcome. Okay? Impact sa duha ka outcomes. So mao na pinaka-basic nga example guys sa experimentation and control group. Aside sa akong giingon gaina nga dili lang kay mag-mechanize nga wala sir, nagkuha lang kog data sa manual sir nga kanang manual sir ang pagtahi niya. Mao man daw ang rate ani sir. Mao daw ni ang average niya nga matahi nga kuan sir kani nga uh, sacking or kanang sakubag para sa kani nga crop kay manual unya kani sir kay mas paspas kay machine. Unya dapat gigrouping pud nimo tong manual, gigrouping pud nimo ang treated or kadtong imong mechanical. That's how they differ. Paminaw mo kay para during sa inyong study dili na mo kasukan sa inyong advisor. Napod gitawag without control group and with control group. Okay. Sa without control group, for example, naka-experimentation, kuhaon nimo ang performance experimentation, ang mga treated nimo nga samples, and then follow nimo unsa imong mga parameters nga giset sa imong mga treatment, no? And unsa iyang performance. So that's the without control, no? Wala ka nag-apply og control. Pero kung nag-apply ka og control, madubli gid siya, no? Kung nana kay control. But the most concrete analysis is those studies with control experimentation. Kay naman tay basis. Okay? Okay na akong machine kay come up man siya, maka-split man siya coconut 100 per minute. Okay lagi. What if kanang imong machine wala man nimo gikuha ag reference control, mas nindot pa di itong mga hawod gyud nga mga 50 years old na sila nag-cut og lubi, mas paspas pa gid itong ilang output kaysa kanang imong bag-o. So base bias ang imong data. Okay? So I strongly suggest that when you do a research when you declaring your methods analysis, you have to set and declare the with control group, no? Labi na katong mag-mechanize, katong mag-innovate, no? Make sure to do this. Okay? Then randomization. This is just a recap. I know engineering data analysis, I know, or it must be and it should be taught in the engineering data analysis how to do the randomization. So natay two group randomization, naapod tay random replications, ug naapod tay duha ra ni sila, two group randomization and random replication. So from the term random, i-grupo ra nimo ang imong na-randomized, no, into two. So that's your design. The other one, for example, the study the impact of introduction of soft skills. So nakay population nga 20 ka estudyante, imo silang i-pick, i-random, and then nakakuha ka random ha, kumingon ka random, wala ka nag-identify nga, okay, first 10, mauna pang experimentation. The remaining 10 is control. It's not randomization at all, no? No, it's not a randomization at all. Randomization is everyone has the chance of being selected, no? Mag-random gani, the basic kanang raffle draw. 1 to 20, bira isa, okay. Oh. Sunod, okay. Sunod, hangtod nga makabuo kag 10. Unya, the remaining 10, mao na dito imong iset. At least gi-randomize nimo ang first 10. Okay? So that's the randomization. Two groups. And we also have random replications. Kato imong na-randomize, imo ra to din silang i-replicate. Ibahin-bahin to nimo sila para ma-replicate ka, dili mabayas ang imong data. Okay? Gi-replicate ra nimo ang imong na group. Replicate nimo into several replications. So that's the basic concept of gathering the data. And then napod tayo randomized block design. Unsay sa block design, for example, block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Para mas dali isabton, para gyud mas dali isabton, assuming nga nag-study ka o basakan, no? Naa kay blocking. Kani nga block akong gipasabot is the literal for blocking ha. But block for randomization means group, no? Blocking, grouping, no? But this one, I'm trying to make it a basic example para dali masabtan. Nag-study ka sa basakan, gi-block nimo into equal parts ang basakan into 5 equal blocks or 5 equal areas. Okay. Ang imong treatment nga ginabuhat 5. Unsa man? Nag-apply ka urea, nag-apply ka og potassium, nag-apply ka og nitrate, nag-apply ka og unsa pa diha, and then unsa pa gyud nga treatment, and then wala kay control, assuming wala kay control diri treatment tanan, no? So ang imong gibuhat, gi-randomize nimo sila. Okay? Si block 1 mao sa ang T3, T4, T2, T4, T6, no? T1, T2, T3, T2, T5. So ingana siya nga pagka-randomize. Random ba kanang dili ingon nga sige, block 1 all block 1 T1, all block 2 T2. Dili, it's not randomization at all, no? Random means you have given all the samples or the treated samples equal chance of being selected, no? Dili sila magbalik-balik sila pero lahi-lahi lang positioning. So the data will be uh, kanang unbiased, no? Ang imong makuha nga data. Eh what if tanang T1 nimo nga value similar ra 12 niya ang isa kay 12.1, 12.01 na pare-pareho ra. At least kay imo siyang gi-randomized, imo siyang properly randomized na ay variation ang imong data. Importante man ang variation. Mo na RBD. Latin square is very frequently used in agricultural research. Always remember that. Usually LSD, no? Dili siya least significant difference ha. Lahi pod tong least significant difference LSD. Kuan man to, treatment means man to siya. Katong nana kay average or mean value, imo na din silang i-arrange according to their weight. So mao to LSD lahi pod to. Kaning LSD nga randomization or methods of sampling, lahi po ni siya katuning imo siyang himuong square, no? Nya tagaan nimo siya og 2, imo siyang i-correspond according to the x and the y, and then imo din siyang i-random butang. Dili po dingon nga pareho. Okay? For example, ang first nimo nga row for the x1 versus I, so mao tara na imo fertilizer level or fertility level versus your seeds difference. A, B, C, D, E, yun niya. Balihon na po nimo A, B, C, D, E, and so on and so on. Di na pwede nga A, B, C, D, E rin na sila tanan. That's the concept of LSD. Similar naman yun similar naman ang LSD sa RBD. The only difference is that X and Y ang X versus Y ang LSD, no? So mao na ilang kalahian. Factorial design kanang natay giingon nga two factors. For example, natay gitawag nga factorial designs kung more than 2 or 2 and more. Okay? So for example, para madali ta ni nga topic, para madali ta, dili ta magdugay, I just want to emphasize, for example, ganina, di ba, ang akong example, sa kalamunggay, gusto ka mag-mechanize, so the first group, control. The other one, experimentation group. Sa experimentation, naa kay 5 ka treatment. Sa control group, which is manual nga pagtanggal, pero naka-range ka og edad, 15 years old to 20, 20 to 25. Unya, male and female pagid na. So 2 times 2, 4. And then the other one, 2 treatments and then 2 ka replications, 4. So that's factorial, no? Pag analysis of variance nimo ana, mangita gid kag ano ba nga naka 2 factorial, 3 factorial or 4 factorial. So 2 by 2, 3 by 3 and 4 by 4. Okay? So if you could review my thesis in the master's uh, graduate studies, tanaw ninyo naka 3 factorial ko didto Storage times temperature times the variety, no? 3 factorial versus all the treatments nga akong ginagamit. Ingana ra kadali ang factorial design as long as you have set your treatments and your control or experimentation group nga separately. Ingana ra siya kadali. Okay? So natay gitawag nga simple. Simple example, level 1 and level 3 nga control variables, and then duha lang ka treatment ang imong gigamit, treatment A and treatment B. So mao to imong experimentation, no? And then ang imong control duha lang ka level 1 and 2. So 1 versus 2, no? Ang imong controls isa ra man, pero ang imong experimental value duha kay duha ka treatments. Okay? So 1 versus 2. So na lang kay 2 versus 2 na kay 2 by 2 simple factorial. Na kay duha ka level sa imong control variables, ug nabod kay duha ka level or duha ka type sa imong experimentation variables. So that's 2 by 2. So I know you are already oriented and you already know how they differ according to your data analysis. Okay. Natudlo ni, just want to confirm, natudlo ni sa inyong engineering data analysis? Cyril?
Wala ko ka hinumdum, sir.
Wala ni natudlo? Agoy, mamalik data ani. Dili
Ah,
pud siya anyway, ako na lang siyang gi-discuss. Kinsay maka-remember nga natudlo ni sa inyo guys? Kaning mga factorial design ba? When can you say that your design analysis of variance is a 2 factorial, 3 factorial, or a 4 factorial? Kinsay maka-remember? Marjun.
O kadumdum, sir.
So wala ni natudlo. Supposedly,
murag, sir.
agoy. Supposedly dito ni sa engineering data analysis. Wala mo niabot og analysis of variance di ay?
ANOVA,
Man,
sir?
ANOVA. Naka-ANOVA mo.
Yes, sir.
So na-introduce ang factorial. You cannot have the ANOVA if you do not know the factorial design. Unsa man nimo pag-cross kung wala ka kabalo? Or nagamit ra mo diretso og software or unsa man?
Yun ang calculate lang, sir. Huwag may nagamit og
Agoy
sanita.
Ginoo ko. Namoy software gigamit?
Limot ko.
Di mo ka remember?
Oo,
Kana bang exam?
remember.
Wala day nag-introduce sa inyo. Ako na rin magtudlo og edit.
Naggamit man yata Mr. Ato ng Excel, sir.
Nag-Excel mo pero wala mo kabalo sa wala gitudlo sa inyo ang basics sa kuan. Well anyway, you can learn that in YouTube na lang, no? Anyway, I already introduced to you the basics of factorial and analysis of variance. So, you review during your thesis, make sure to review naman na yung mga kuan sa YouTube, mga lecture, mga free lectures or mga uh, educational, no, nga magtudlo og about mga factorial design. So inyo nang i-review. But I assume man good nga dili, I mean natudlo na ni siya na
Si man. At kay itom nasayn sa dinagat si Jasayn sa tubahon libo sa Lorito.
Charilu.
Lungsod.
Okay. So I hope that you can spare time to review the basics of factorial. But basically guys, for example, if you could see the data in the presentation, for example, ang imong control nahalang kay level 1 and level 2. So unsa iyang pasabot diri maybe ang iyang leveling is low or high ang iyang pagka-identify, and then ang treatment niya ang training. So pila ang iyang training, average training nga naatinan maybe somehow. No, so 15.5 ang iyang natinan in years maybe, ang isa kay 35.8, and then row mean kani man good dapat nagid ni sa engineering data analysis. Unsaon nimo pagkuha ang iyang row mean ug ang column mean? Aside sa kanang i-compute ra nimo na siya, unsa day ang iyang indices? Unsa ang iyang implication, no? Dili kay ko answer 19.4 times 25.6 mao na siya sir. No. There must be an analysis. So unsaon nimo pagkuha? Gitudluan mo sa sum of squares, margin, sa ano ba? Unsa ang pag-compute? Mano-mano? Sum of squares, total sum of squares. Itudluan mo ana according to the row mean and the column mean. Wala. Jaja.
Sir, wala po ka-remember, sir.
Wala gid ay natudlo sa inyo. Maglisod mo ani sa inyong thesis. Sum of squares, kuhaon ang iyang S, kuhaon ang iyang wala mo gitudluan di ay. Difference na. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Maybe we can spare time sooner after midterm about the data analysis. Okay, this is just the basic example of how you tabulate or your control versus your treated group of samples, no, or data. So nga na siya. This is the basic factorial. And then when you do the analysis, when you do the graphing, nga na lang basic x and y. Kay duha raman 2 by 2 raman ka. This is called this is usually termed as relationship, no? Relationship sa duha. Okay? Kung pataas siya, pa-increase, so the relationship is increasing. There is a positive relationship between the control and the treated values or treated parameters. So kung nag-cross siya, so there must be an deeper analysis with this. Unsa kay possible nga nahitabo, no? Ngano man ang mean score sa ability according to the intelligence kay nag-cross. So there must be a explanation about that. Okay? And then there are some also like complex gani 3 by 3, 2 by 2 by 2, no, daghan na kayo ng mga factors ang inyong i-consider. For example, ang control variable niya leveling ra gihapon, level 1 and level 2, maybe low and high. Pero tulo na kabuok ang iyang duha na ka klase ang iyang treatment, and then under treatment A and treatment B, napoy duha ka subgroup, no? Control variable 2, level 1 and level 2. Control variable 2, level 1 and level 2 sa treatment B. So that's 2 by 2 by 2, no? This must be taught in the data analysis, guys. Unsaon nimo pagsabot ang imong data, kay what if tagaan lang kag data nga naka-statement ra, no? Wala naka-tabulate, na unsaon nimo pag-arrange kung wala ka gitudluan. Well, anyway, mas may gani kay ako ning na-introduce sa inyo, no? Basically, ako siyang na-introduce. So, ingana lang ninyo pag identify or pag-set sa inyong factorial nga design sa inyong data. Okay? Na 2 by 2 by 2, this complex. So, more than, no? 2 by 2, 4 kibali square and then cube. So, for example, 3 by 3, it's a square factorial, no? And then 3 by 3 by 3, so it's a complex factorial na nga setting. How to prepare your sample design, no? Overall, you have the population of samples, no? For example, in one parameter like moisture content of the food, kuhaon nimo, your sample must be 30 times nimo kuhaon, no? That's the population, no? Out of the 30, unsaon nimo na imong kuhaon ang average, kuhaon nimo ang iyang standard deviation, mao na gitawag descriptive statistics, no? Descriptive statistics ang tawag ana kanang average, mean, standard deviation, standard error. So that's the descriptive statistics. I hope you could still review your data analysis. And out of that population must be your unit of sampling. Unsa man na siya kung moisture content, unsa man na siyang unit ana, percent, no? Kilogram, weight. O, ingana na siya, dapat you already know the sampling or unit of sampling. Size of the sample, when you say size, you said that the population is 30, but your replication is 3, meaning out of the 30 population na pwede ka nga kada nimo sample, kada nimo replication na kay 10. So 10 per replication times 3 replications of a total of 30 samples in a population. Parameters katong gipang set nimo, moisture content, gisukod nimo soluble solids, color, acidity, no, texture, monetary requirements, no, pila ang iyang involved. So usually kung economical ang imong study, nagkanda og economical. Method of sampling, unsa may method of sampling nimo? Okay? Nagamit ba ka og katong mga nominal, uh, nominal sampling, nagamit ba ka og dual sampling, and then nagamit ba ka factorial, complex ba or basic? Okay? And then sample frame, kanang mga tabular, no? Presentation sa imong data. So that's how you have to prepare and present your sample design. Okay? So that's it for our sample design and research design. So I hope that you could give you could spare some time to review or read some presentations related to factorial analysis of variance. Kay para na mo idea, guys, when you reach actual or thesis nga days ninyo, dali ra hinuon siya. Ang naka-critical lang nga part is when the data, when the variables are being stated in a statement or in a paragraph form. Kung tabulated, dali ra kayo, no? But usually, particularly in the board exams, if must be given, tabulated na ang ihatag sa inyo, and then you have to give a factorial analysis. Pila na siya, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 3 by 3 by 3. So ingana ninyo pag-subdivide sa inyong data. So that's it for the lecture 7 for our research design and methodology. Okay? Question for this topic? Questions? Question for this topic? before we could move on with the next topic, which is techniques on the data analysis. Pangutana. Walay mangutana? Wala. Okay, so walay mangutana, and then I will move on. I will continue with the next presentation. Jaja, I'm still with you. Okay pa ba
Yes,
ko?
sir.
Okay, napa ko sa ere. Okay. Okay.